Training with treats will make my dog fat is one of the most common concerns we hear regarding positive reinforcement-based training. Today we will discuss why this is not necessarily true and how we can use food to train and still keep our dogs lean. One of the common concerns we hear from people regarding the use of food in training is the idea that it will cause their dog to be overweight, or that because their dog is already struggling with their weight, that using food will only make things worse. It is so important that our dog's daily food intake is met daily, no matter how much training we do with our dog or how much food enrichment we give them. That means that the food we use when training our dog shouldn't be a surplus, but part of our dog's daily food intake. Training our dog with food should never mean sacrificing our dog's health. In our previous videos, we have shared about the benefits of using low and high value food. When using treats like cheese, hot dog, or processed treats, keeping that at around 10% of our dog's daily food intake is ideal. We don't want to only feed our dog an unbalanced diet, so using complete and balanced food for training is best. For example, freeze-dried or dehydrated complete formulas are good high-value and healthy options. One of the easiest ways to make sure we are not overfeeding our dog is by pre-measuring our dog's daily food intake in the morning and only using that throughout the day. For example, you can keep a container of your dog's daily kibble or a mix of treat and kibbles and only use that. Depending how much you train that day, that can mean feeding less through a bowl at mealtime. Another thing I do to make sure I keep my dogs at their best weight is to weigh them regularly, once or twice a month. That will help you keep track of their weight and make sure they are not over or underweight, as well as giving insight on any changes we need to make. For example, there are times during the years where my dogs are more active, so weighing them will help me keep track of their weight so I can adjust their food intake appropriately. We especially hear about this concern from people with small dogs. Small dogs can have such a small daily of food intake to begin with that not overfeeding can be more challenging. If we use kibbles to train, we should use very small kibbles, and if we use treats, we can cut those in super tiny pieces so that a small amount goes a long way. Even for a medium-sized dog, cutting treats up can be a good way to make the most out of a limited or small amount of food. Here you can see an example of how the same amount of food can last in a training session. With experience, we can get to a point where we eyeball our dog's food requirement and get comfortable with the amount of food we can use throughout the day. If you are on the fence about using food in training because your dog is already struggling with their weight, don't let that stop you. Even dogs who are on their weight loss journey can benefit from being trained with food. It's all about making sure that their daily food intake does not go in a surplus. Dogs trained with food should be fit and healthy regardless of their breed and sizes. And on that note, happy training!